everybody. Here we go yet again. It is week 31 of 2022. It might be week 32. I can't remember. I'm just guessing off of last week. Whatever week it is, we are welcoming you once again into the vidIQ Tuesday channel audit live streams, where you share with us your channel focus, your thumbnail strategy, your title formulas, and we rip them to shreds, or we give you some really useful, positive, constructive feedback through our wisdom, our knowledge, and occasionally a little bit of our entertainment as well. I am your host for the next couple of hours, Rob, the YouTuber in residence here at vidIQ. What does that mean? I basically make videos about YouTube education, and I hope I have learned enough to help you along with your YouTube journeys. After all, YouTube changed my passion into a career, and that's what I want to enable as many creators as humanly possible to do the same for on their channels. But we couldn't do this auditing frivolity. Is that a word? Frivolity? I think it might be. Without some of my esteemed guest co-hosts. They're on the same playing field as I. And this person now actually, I would say, does more audits and reviews per week than I do. He is the gaming legend, the eyebrow moving, the entertainment capital of live streams. It is Dan. Hey, how is it going, Dan? Welcome to the live stream. Once again, how are you? How are you feeling?
I'm exhausted. Like that was a lot of things that you put on me in like just a moment. And you were making them up on the spot too, which was frustrating because it was like this slow moving train, and everything you finally said just put more and more pressure. And now I got to come here. This is why I drink 32 ounces of coffee while we do this. Now, don't tell anyone it's decaf, because 32 ounces of caffeinated coffee would be very unhealthy, but in one sitting. But, you know, this is what happens. This is what you do to me.
All of these qualities and skills are now permanently etched on your resume as a YouTube expert, Dan. So you'll just have to deal with it. And also, fantastic advice, everyone. Make sure you stay hydrated throughout this live stream.
Not using hot coffee.
I'm already like 2/3 of the way through my hydration liquid. So maybe I'll have to top that up halfway through the live stream. But we couldn't do this without a third co-host auditor to make it the three amigos of YouTube auditing. He is the fantastic shades wearing, truly wire buds wearing, although not on this live stream, tech channel with the coolest salute and just the calming presence that is.
That's five
Mr.
things.
Jeff.
That's five things, Jeff.
Hey, Jeff. You can stop staring. Thank you. How's it going, Jeff? How you doing?
Good. How you guys doing?
Yeah, good. I was getting some advice off you this week about the best noise cancelling, truly wireless earbuds under $100 in all of those wonderful SEO terms, and you ended up with the Soundcore P3s, and I now have some in my possession.
Oh, nice. That was fast.
They are already blocking out my wife's TikToks.
Nice.
My life has been saved by Jeff.
Mission accomplished.
Although, full disclosure, Jeff, I think you sent me your affiliate link, but then when I actually went to buy them, I didn't use it because I completely forgot. I used some of the links. So I do apologize that you didn't get $6 worth of kickback on that affiliate link.
Heartbroken. Where's the sad music? I'm heartbroken.
Oh, I can find that for you. All right, yeah. So, sorry, Jeff. You did not get your affiliate from myself. All right, folks. I do have a question as we jump into this, because I also bought something else, which I've got to admit I'm thinking of returning. I've been thinking about getting a Galaxy S22 for a couple of months, and I finally got one, and it's too big. I know it sounds crazy. It's too big and it's too heavy compared to my Pixel 5, so I'm thinking of returning it. And so my question to Dan, Jeff, and all of you in the chat, let us know in the chat. we'll do shout out on a couple of these, is what is the last piece of tech you bought that you thought you were really going to enjoy and use, but then you just decided it's not for me, I'm selling it, I'm returning it. You know, there might not necessarily be anything wrong with the tech itself, but it's just not for you. Jeff, you must be buying all sorts of tech all of the time. Is there anything recently that you bought that just hasn't worked for you?
That hasn't worked for me? Not necessarily. I'm trying to think. Oh, actually, yes. Which is kind of sad because I like Elgato's products. You know, so let me preface that by saying that I like Elgato's products. I'm not sponsored by them or anything like that. But I had bought 2 of their Key Light Minis, and all they did was give me a bunch of problems. Oh, no. So I ended up having to send those back. So they wouldn't connect to their control center app. But when I got them working, like when they were actually working, they were super adjustable. The light output was really good. They were magnetic. You could mount them on stands, whatever you want to do. So they had a lot of flexibility built into them, but the connectivity on them was atrocious. So I sent them that feedback. Went ahead and sent them back. So, and then they were kind enough to actually offer me a coupon code for like my next purchase. It was like, all right, cool, thanks. But either way, it was one of those things where I bought it and I was disappointed.
Isn't that so frustrating when like they get the basics of something wrong, like Wi-Fi doesn't work or Bluetooth? It's like, this is not a new not a new piece of technology, and it just completely like a Chromebook I bought a couple of years ago, like brilliant, super. The trackpad broke within a year, and that. Why should that happen? Anyway, I'm ranting now. Dan,
no, true.
Tech that's not worked for you.
These sunglasses.
Oh yes.
I don't know. These are old. I don't know exactly. I don't buy a lot of tech. I bought an iPad recently. I'm very happy with it. You know what? You mentioned Chromebooks though. A few years back, I bought a Chromebook. It's my first Chromebook, and it took maybe a year before it became unusable. And I would say the most frustrating thing about it was I got logged out, and so I tried to get logged back in, and it wiped it. It wiped it clean to do that. Like it was a security thing. I'm like, well, I must have, forgot my password, which I was pretty sure I didn't. And it's happened like 7 or 8 times. And the battery doesn't like work. This is just a couple of years old. The battery like barely works anymore. So I every time I open it up, I have to make sure it's plugged in. I have to make sure I wipe it first because it just will not remember my information that I'm not constantly changing, unlike it believes. And so I hate it. I literally hate that thing. And I hope it falls out a window.
There you go. You can do that yourself. Just throw it out there. I just want to give a shout out to Rene Ritchie. If you don't already know, he is the new YouTube liaison. So if there's 563 people watching, if you do have any complaints, do direct them to him right now, and he will fix all of your YouTube problems.
What a mean thing to do. What a terrible thing to do to somebody.
That's terrible, Rob.
It is. But Rene, you signed up for it.
Rob did this. You can be in solo view. We don't condone this.
This guy, this you all send all your YouTube complaints to this person. All right, okay.
He's a fellow Canadian, man. How could you?
Really dropping it in there. But hey, he works for YouTube. He could shadow ban our channel right now if he wanted to. There we go. Right here, Richie is correcting all of my lies, my filthy lies. Right, okay, should we try and get onto something a little bit more serious here, which is auditing your channels? If you are new here, do let us know in the chat. If you are a regular or an original gangster here, welcome those new folks in, and we'll explain how this works in 60 seconds. Welcome to the vidIQ channel audit live stream, where we review your YouTube channels. To submit your channel for review, make sure to fill out the right form linked in the video description. Note that we clear these forms after every live stream, so make sure to resubmit the following week. Channel audits are free, so please don't send us a super chat or spam us in a chat expecting a review. If there are alternative ways to get picked for an audit, we will let you know during the live stream. If we don't get around to reviewing your channel today, vidIQ has a channel audit tool working 24/7 with you. Make sure to download our tools and use the 30-day free trial using the link in the video description. If you submit your channel for review, expect the following. We are sharing nothing more than our knowledge, experience, and passion as fellow YouTube creators. I want to give a huge shout out to all of our moderators who do a phenomenal job every single week Thank you, thank you, thank you. As for all of you, well, thumbs up if you enjoy this live stream, subscribe if you love it, and if you know of a fellow creator who may find all of his stuff useful, please do share it with them. And with all of that being said, let's start auditing your channels. The final piece of housekeeping, as always, we get hundreds, sometimes over 1,000 channel submissions every single week. We apologize, we can't audit every single channel, but it's not necessarily about giving tips, tricks, and advice for a single creator. This is a community, and we want to share all of our advice with all creators. And many of that knowledge, wisdom, and experience that we do part with into this live stream is transferable, be it titles, thumbnails, consistency, channel focus. If a gaming channel is failing or struggling in those areas, that could very much be the same problem you're having with your travel channel. So do try to keep an open mind when we're auditing channels, and do make sure you bring up your channel on a second screen if you can do, so that you can in real time review the strategies that we're suggesting here. With all of that being said, Dan, Jeff, should we get into some channel audits?
All right.
All right. Dan Jeff salutes me, which means that we can crack on. This is the first channel that's submitted on the non-gaming form. The forms are in the video description. If you want to fill them out, you will have a chance of being audited as we go through this live stream. But the one who picked us up, first of all, when the live stream went public yesterday, was Rainy Day Art. So let's start with you, Jeff. Just first impressions. What type of channel, topic? What do we see here?
I'm assuming this looks kind of like colored pencil, not 100%. I'm obviously not an art person myself per se, but that's what it kind of looks like to me. It could be, I mean, I guess it could be. I mean, that's what it looks like to me, but yeah, it's hard to tell. But it looks like they're doing all shorts from what we're seeing, right? I mean, at least that's what I'm seeing here on this page. I don't see anything long form. Do they? Well, no, there is one right there. There's another. So sort of interspersed, I would say. But it looks like we're doing a lot of colored pencil art, which is pretty awesome. Redrawing, okay. All right, drawing Adele. I think if anything, especially with these two, like drawing Adele, I would have had it pushed in a lot closer to see her face. Because you have to think, look how small her face is in the context of the entire thumbnail. So that could have been even just cropped in. I mean, it could still literally be the same picture. I like the angle of it. So just cropped in a lot tighter so that her face is a lot bigger and you can see her hand a lot easier in what you're doing. So that'd be one of the first suggestions. Drawing down the last page of my sketchbook. Okay. And then redrawing my sort of ugly art. Interesting. Yeah, it's just it's a different vibe for this, but I kind of like what they're doing though.
What 1 month in at this point, and it looks as if as they've gone through the beginnings of their YouTube journey, they're starting to lean towards shorts. There's nothing necessarily bad with that. It's a great opportunity. There's going to be more monetization and possibilities later on this year and going into next year. Dan, first impressions, what do we see?
Well, I did notice on the long form video, there was something with the title I wanted to point out real quick. So this video is really interesting to me. It's up in the middle. Redrawing my sort of ugly art. Now, from what I can tell based on the thumbnail, it looks like you were drawing Peter Parker, Spider-Man. And there's a couple things you could have done with that title that I think would have helped. Redrawing my get rid of sort of, even if it is just sort of ugly, like you're kind of creating a longer title, right? It's
sure.
Like go for the drama, right? Like you can say in the video whether you think I think it's sort of ugly. In the title though, redrawing my ugly Spider-Man drawing or ugly Spider-Man art or something like that. Spider-Man should be in the title if I'm right. And sort of ugly, like that self-doubt goes away and it creates a shorter, snappier title. And I'm thinking you should run through this exercise with all of the titles of your long form videos. Just thinking to yourself after writing them out, like, could I make this title a little more catchy in some way? Is it too long? And the more things like that sort of just kind of interrupts, like you've kind of put a gap between what you're saying and the drama, like the hook of the title, right? Like ugly, you know? And I think words like that really resonate with people, especially when they're in like all caps, but you want to get to that as like quick as you can.
And then another question is, did they need to include their channel name in a title? I think
No,
I didn't see that. Yeah, you're right. You also don't need to do that. Yeah, just again, making the title longer. It also, this is maybe a bit of a niche opinion here, but I feel like it kind of creates a barrier sort of with your content. Like rainy day art is something I don't currently subscribe to, and it seems like that's a big part of this video, and therefore I'm not going to join this video. You know, it's your channel name is under all of your videos. It doesn't really need to be there, and it's also confusing if people don't know that's your channel name. It makes it sound like you would watch this on a rainy day, or you would only draw on a rainy day, or something like that. Again, creating like an invisible barrier there for someone who's just kind of scrolling by, like, I'm not really interested in rainy day art, don't know what that is. So I like the name for the channel. I would avoid putting it in the title of videos.
Now, topic strategy. I've sorted the videos by most popular. Is there a theme that we can maybe pick out here from some of these more popular shorts?
Yeah, going after popular people, like celebrities, whether it's musicians, whatever it might be. That's sort of the trend I see with Olivia Rodrigo, with Zendaya. So I'm assuming that maybe these are some of their favorite artists or favorite people. But one strategy you can do is to also try to do this around the time when if they're musicians, when their albums are coming out, because that's when the search traffic is going to be high. That's when their names are going to be trending. So that would be a good option for you to do. You know, even if necessarily you're not big into them, but I'm sure you're into more than just two people. So there's got to be other people. So I would start researching like who's trending right now, or who has a project coming up, who's got an album that's going to be coming out. So you can start pre-planning some of your artwork and try to have it land around the time when, you know, they do their album releases or their music video releases.
It's certainly a good strategy, and we would encourage you to continue to tap into popular people. Maybe you can extend it to popular films, television, whatever you're interested in and you think your audience would be interested in. Continue to use that as one of your avenues of content. I don't want you to just do nothing but celebrity portraits, because you have skills elsewhere, and some of the videos that don't include that topic are going pretty well as well. Yep. Is it worth just maybe trying one of these shorts just to see like the execution? Should we have a look at one maybe? All right, let's do I want to do this one. Okay, so there is some music. So I'm going to talk over the music to make sure that we don't get a copyright claim.
It probably won't work.
I'm seeing some good editing here, some text on screen. I think they brought up a question. I think this fits the shorts mold, so to speak. So yeah, I think that's pretty encouraging. What would you say, Dan?
Yeah, I think this kind of helps with like the satisfying element of like watching something come together. I think the text on the screen like that is going to be of use to the audience who's kind of scrolling by on the shorts feed and might find this and they're new. One thing I would do, I noticed what you were doing there to get that music was that you were playing in the background. And then I only knew that because you shook the pen and I could hear the pen. But I know that YouTube's tools will take out all the sound if you add music.
Yeah.
Let them do that. I'm telling you that because you didn't use YouTube's tools to add that music, and therefore you kind of lost out on a little bit of an opportunity there to kind of link your video to that artist. YouTube isn't directly saying this, but what they are going around telling people is, hey, please use our tools. Use as many of them as possible. And so because you're not talking in your videos, that is like full reign. Like go into their music library and always be looking for trending songs, up and coming songs, stuff you like, stuff that fits the vibe of your videos, and use that as much as possible in your shorts.
Now, tomorrow, we will be going into a lot more detail about video editing of all types of content. We just wanted to tease it there, but Dan and another guest host, whoever that is, it could be me, it could be Viper, will be looking at your videos as opposed to your channels. That is Rainy Day Art, our first non-gaming channel submission this week. We'll move on to our first gaming channel that's submitted this week with a really intriguing channel name called Agreeable Corgi. They have 1,000 subscribers. Congratulations if that's step one or the completing step of monetizing your channel. Dan, this is going to be a little bit of a challenge because I don't think this channel's first language is English on the titles. Looks like it might be Portuguese or Spanish. But it does raise an interesting question that I'll get onto if you don't cover it. But like first impressions on what you think this channel is about.
Before I do, real quick, someone in chat pointed out, I don't want to misinformation myself. If you record the video first, then add the sound after, you can use the slider on the bottom to fade in or out. So yes, thank you for that. I've had really bad luck with putting shorts out that I make in my own editing software, then bring them to YouTube. So I'm not shooting them on my phone. So yeah, that they could have been doing that too. Anyway, sorry. So yes, being that this is not a channel that's in English, that does make it a little bit difficult because titles are something I would definitely be looking at here to see how, the videos perform with certain titles. I can't do that. What I can say is their thumbnails they're choosing to use are very, very vibrant, very colorful. What I would be doing next is maybe typing in the name of the game, going on YouTube and seeing, do these thumbnails stack up against the competition? It looks like they're primarily doing live streams, so we could talk about that too. But yeah, I'd be very curious to see how they compare.
So the theme seems to be, I'm not going to call them loading screens, but they're more interested in the graphical art style as opposed to showing game elements. And that's kind of what this channel is following. Because they seem to be loading screens. Well, maybe not loading. I don't know. Would those look like loading screens?
Hard to say. I don't play the game, so I'm not really sure. Maybe it's just a very visually stunning game because a loading screen is kind of a compliment, right? Like they always look really nice.
Yeah, I think with Genshin Impact, because it's a handheld game, so and it's an RPG, so there's lots of elements on screen. So I don't think it's just clips from the game itself. Definitely stylized.
Yeah. So a lot of live streams, and one opportunity you have as a live stream creator, you have a number of opportunities. You're already using custom thumbnails for all your live streams, which is perfect, brilliant. You should be treating these like regular uploads. I would be going out of your way to make sure the titles are just as well thought out as what you would do for a regular 20-minute video. You know what I mean? Because people will watch these after the fact. If you can, going into your live streams, adding chapters for those people who bother to watch after the fact, it's going to earn you a lot of credibility, a lot of favor from those viewers, because you're doing them a favor. You're helping them. It's a 4-hour video. You're helping them get through the content at whatever pace they want. Maybe you pick out the parts of the game. So let's say there's a game where you travel and you're fighting. So maybe your chapters are like fighting, traveling, fighting, traveling. You know what I mean? Like kind of get creative with like how you might chunk it out if you would like to go through that work. Next thing you could be doing, what Jeff likes to do, is go in and you like to edit down your live streams in some cases and turn them into more like bite-sized videos, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I actually did that last night. So I had a stream that I did, and it was originally around 90 minutes, and it is now a 29-minute video.
Perfect. I mean, the only thing you lose when you do that is chat, the live
Correct.
chat. So if you are doing a really good job of like talking to your chat and making the live content for them, then it will be confusing after the fact, unless you do what a lot of streamers do in gaming, where you have your live chat on the screen. That's a way around that too. So if you reference somebody in chat, it's just kind of in the corner and people can like go, oh, they're talking to Bob127. Got it. So that's just one thing to consider. Now, those are just some tips for the actual stream itself. What you could also be doing is taking really interesting or funny clips from these streams and turning those into videos and uploading those to your channel and giving those even more searchable or clickable titles and giving them their own chance to get discovered by a new audience. Because YouTube, unlike other streaming platforms, works for you while you're not streaming. It's one of the biggest benefits of YouTube. And for it to work for you the best way possible, making shorts and making just short clips in long form, widescreen versions, that can help grow your channel that you primarily stream on while you're not streaming, which gives you a chance to kind of breathe, because streaming can take a lot out of you, especially doing 3 to 4 hour live streams. It looks like daily. Yes. Daily streaming. So what I'm seeing right now are very consistent views, and that's good. You have been building up an audience. What I'm saying is, if you were to go to a strategy that targeted people who are not watching you live as well as your streams, this all can be on one channel as long as it's the same content, same game. I saw a Valorant video on there, so I'll just pretend you were testing that and I'll ignore it, because as long as you stick to this game, your channel, those numbers, the 300 to 500 views you're getting could be a lot higher. You'll notice it's working too as you start to stream more and more, and your concurrent viewership jumps up another 10 people. And you're like, oh, interesting. Usually I have 50 people here, but now I have 60. I don't normally have that. That's pretty cool. And that's how streaming channels on YouTube grow.
Incredibly solid numbers for a channel with 1,000 subscribers, and your most viewed video is 3,500 views from a live stream. That shows us a good, consistent community turning up. The thing that I just wanted to touch on in terms of the thumbnails is that thumbnails, as much as possible, should transcend language in that it should be able to visually communicate something to somebody, whether they speak French, Spanish, Portuguese, or English. And so these thumbnails kind of do half the job in that they instantly tell you what the video is about, this particular game, but it doesn't necessarily give you a why or a element of curiosity. And now we've spoken to Jake Thomas, who's a title writing expert, and he talks a lot about curiosity in vidIQ Max. And so it feels as if these thumbnails are just placeholders almost. They could do a lot more, but right now they just tell you a what. And so how could you maybe make them a little more curious so that even if I don't know what the title is about, perhaps I do know what the video is about if you include, like, I don't know, experience points or the best weapon that you're using or a particular map or boss that you're trying to tackle in the live stream. Like, how could you communicate that possibly through the thumbnails?
There's two things. So you can either do kind of what Rob just said and create a goal for yourself. And that gives you a lot of, ability to create a very specific thumbnail, and you're going for a specific goal. It doesn't matter if you meet the goal. You don't know if you're going to meet the goal or not, and that's okay. The fact of the matter is you're going for a goal in that episode, that live stream, or you can change it after the fact. If you're optimizing your live stream for afterwards and you really don't know what the heck is going to happen, then at the very least you could be changing it after the fact, after you have the full knowledge. Okay, we streamed, these things happened. What's the most interesting thing? What can I make a title and thumbnail about? So those are two routes you can go.
And then the final question, and maybe Jeff, you want to chime in on this one. Whenever I click on one of their videos, they start with a countdown timer, and then I guess it's going to be another 5 minutes before we actually see anything in this live stream. What are your thoughts on these pre-live stream countdowns? And I guess it's more evidence of you should be cutting this out after the fact, because now this makes it quite an not an unpleasant, but a frustrating on-demand experience, because now I have to go and search through the timeline to see where the live stream starts.
Correct. Yeah. So that's the thing where I kind of have two mindsets about it. But after speaking with Emily Baker, it's one of those things where she's a firm believer in none of this, no countdowns. You go straight in and you get straight into the content. You're making it for the replay value. Yeah. And then afterwards, you can still interact with your chat during and after, but you want to deliver the value first and not make people wait. So that's one of the things where I had originally a 3-minute one, which I've now got down to around 45 seconds. But even with the 45-second one, I'll still go in and we'll cut it out. So because you have to think about analytics on this, on audience retention, on a replay value, even for a live stream. When you're making people wait 5 minutes, that means either people are dipping or they're skipping all the way ahead. It just doesn't look good. It's not a good look. So making people wait, I wouldn't do it. If you're ready to go when you go live, get started. Don't make people wait. Just get into it. And with all of these videos that you have that have these long countdowns, use the YouTube editor. Go in, cut that out. It's literally just that simple.
Same with Emily Baker. I stopped using my countdowns after that. And to me, YouTube does something, again, that other platforms don't do. You can schedule your stream, and YouTube is starting to pull people in without you doing a countdown. I've noticed every single time I stream, there is at least a handful of people waiting there. And the longer I go with being late to the stream, it seems the more people are waiting. There's a point, I think, where they start to drop off. But if you're 5 minutes late, you may notice that number is even larger. And that's great, because you might be 5 minutes late, not to, penalizing for the viewers, but the audience that's going to watch this after, it's not a stream anymore. I had no idea you were 5 minutes late, and you came online and immediately started talking and started introducing it just like a video.
Here's the interesting viewpoint I have in that. I'm going to show you now our live stream analytics. And it always takes like a good 10 to 15 minutes for the regulars to join us. And then more and more people join us throughout. So this is kind of like why I do the preamble of a little bit of an intro. I ask you a question about technology. We have a little bit of general conversation before we get into the channel audits, because I feel as if we're doing people a disservice if we just jump straight into the channel audits. But that's just my opinion of it, and I don't know if that's right or wrong.
I agree with you, but the thing is, you still wouldn't do how many minutes is that until we get to the more stable numbers there?
Yeah, so I think it's 3 minutes in, 3.5 minutes in.
Right. Like a 3 minute timer would be a little bit ridiculous, especially when there's a lot of stuff that we do that is not channel audits at the beginning, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's a great way to do it too. If you're worried about it, but you don't want to do a countdown timer, I think our strategy there is good. Just go right into it and ask your audience a question. Start to build that connection with the regulars. You know, I think that's valid completely.
But also goals, right? So we have to also remember two things. When you go into these live streams, you have to determine what is your goal for the live stream. Is your goal to be community, to educate while live, or the replay value? One or the other, right? You can sort of have both, but if it's really about the replays and that's what you're looking for, like me personally, I'm aiming for the replay value, then that's why I'll go straight in. But if I was just doing, like, when I do just a regular like community stream to just hang out, yeah, I'll take a slow start, because I see the same thing. I'll see a 3-minute, 4-minute ramp up on viewers coming in, and it's cool that it's now only 3 minutes. If I remember, me and Rob had this conversation like a year and a half, almost 2 years ago, where it was taking 10 to 15 minutes to see that ramp up. So it is getting better. But yeah, I think you have to kind of determine what your goal for the stream is, if it's replay value or if it's just community, and then you can kind of make that decision based on what your goals are for the stream.
Mm-hmm.
All right, folks, I know we've only audited 2 channels, but it does emphasize what I spoke about at the beginning of the live stream, in that sometimes if we can find a really interesting topic to talk about, which helps all creators, like this conversation about live stream, that's why we'll spend a little bit more time talking about the concept as opposed to the specific channel. But thank you, Agreeable Corgi, for your submission. And what's that? Oh, well, that could only mean one thing, that we have more people watching than we do likes right now.
What?
730 people are watching, and yet only 500 of you have clicked that like button. Shame. 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 Fix that now. Yes. All of those, all of that. I expect that to be resolved by the time we've audited this next channel, and that next channel goes by the name of Bridget Fidgets. And I think we have another shorts channel here. Jeff, again, first impressions. What are we looking at here?
Oh, hang on. Sorry, I was typing out a message there. So yet another shorts channel. So here we are once again. And I'm assuming they're doing not necessarily fidget spinners, maybe, but maybe different fidget gadgets. I'm assuming here.
Oh yeah, those like.
I'm not into this niche. Yeah, so I'm just. It's not my cup of tea.
It's these poppable things, like if you
gotcha.
Fingers, like when I'm in meetings, I'm not joking. Like I'll be constantly pressing on this just to keep my hands busy.
Yeah, no, that's totally fair. I know that helps a lot of people. I need something like that for my legs. I think, if anything, I need one of those footrests that I do that with. So, but yeah, so. Interesting. I got scammed fidget trading. Interesting. Wow. All right. And they seem to be doing pretty well. I mean, views wise, like these are some pretty strong views. You know, easily getting into the thousands on a channel with 155 subscribers is pretty wild. So I like what I'm seeing so far. Now I did see that I Got Scammed as a full length piece of content, but it looks like for the most part they're just shorts, correct?
Yeah, and 100 views for a channel of 155 subscribers.
Still not bad.
Still good, but yeah. The consistency here is the ultimate form of consistency for a new channel. Like, I'm going to pop something in the short, and you're going to watch it, and every single video is going to be like that. And I think from an audience point of view, I think this is a really good start for a channel. Maybe it'll help if I just play one of these shorts, just to give you a feel of what's going on. And that is literally it. I think that was about 4 or 5 seconds.
Yeah. Here's the thing though, too. And I think with shorts, I think one of the things that's going to help them out is, especially if they're this short and they have a lot of these devices, I shouldn't be seeing a 6-day gap in between these shorts.
Oh, good point. Yeah.
So if you want to do these shorts and do them like this and the way you're doing them, which is simple and effective, then we should be seeing these at least once per day, 5 times a week or 7 times a week, however it works for you, because these don't seem like it's a lot of a ton of production going into making it. So consistency, I think, will help them greatly, especially when they're getting these kind of views.
I think consistency would help a lot. I also think if that's a struggle, like let's say you're like, I'll run out of fidget devices in like a week if I do that. what if you took the same ones and found different ways to pop them? So you could take a rolling pin over this thing and like, you know what I mean? Like start getting creative with like the different ways you can like pop all the little bubbles. Cause I see what you're doing with your fingers is you're trying to pop it as fast as possible. So now what if you used an external source, you know? I
like
also,
half of them are unpopped and then you have to individually pop each one. That'd probably send me crazy.
Yeah. Leave like one.
Oh,
and let the comments roll in. I love doing stuff like that. What I will also say is that the setup. What do you guys think of the setup they're using? Because you can see this wall. Looks like with their cameras mounted on a wall. I found that a little bit distracting personally.
Yeah, I think a better place to film. Maybe get a bit of lighting. Yeah, I think in time they're going to figure out a better filming location to do this.
Yeah, I wouldn't worry too much right now. It looks like you're getting a lot of views despite that. So it's just like something incremental improvements as you're looking to, keep making changes.
My guess is that one of the reasons why these videos are so successful is because they get at least one loop out of every viewer.
Yeah,
like because it is literally just popping all of the points on a thing, and that takes like 2 seconds, and then it just loops. And I think somebody will probably watch that 2 or 3 times before moving on to the next one. Now, the next question I want to ask you here, and we haven't really looked at this yet, and I don't know if you noticed this, but titles. These titles, or most of these titles, have nothing to do with the topic, and they are simply a question.
Yeah.
Do you like YouTube? How many pets do you have? I mean, could you say that's a butterfly? I mean, nobody's going to have a pet butterfly. Do you like art? What country do you live in? I've never seen anybody do this where they use their title as a question.
Mm-hmm.
And yet YouTube is still recommending this content to a regular audience. It kind of puts all of our title formula strategies and whatnot out the window almost.
I was not surprised by this because of the way Shorts discovery works. A lot of people aren't looking at the titles because of the way you discover them. They are not searchable. They are seeable. Like the titles will be seen in other parts of the YouTube short shelf and things like that. People can choose whether or not to click on your shorts from having a good title, especially the returning viewers. I've noticed if I have a really good title on a short, they will be the first ones there, and I'm not even waiting on the short shelf. But this goes to show that the title of a short does not matter nearly as much as the content itself. I mean, could you imagine how these would be? Yeah, no one's really commenting either, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Could you imagine how these would be if they introduced themselves first before? Okay, today I got this strawberry and we're going to pop it. Like, no, they're just doing it. The visual satisfaction starts the second your thumb swipes up to the short, and that's what you want. That's like the thumbnail. That's the click of the person deciding to stay there. The title plays such a minimal role depending on where you see this.
So you are right, Dan, in the sense that you may be asking questions in the titles, but nobody's engaging with the content in that sense. So is it perhaps a missed opportunity from a title perspective, even though it doesn't seem to matter that much for this channel?
Mm-hmm.
I've just never seen anybody use the titles in that way and have it not have like a kind of a detrimental impact. Or maybe we're wrong. Maybe if this channel started putting in satisfying poppable ASMR, maybe the title in conjunction with the content would send this channel to the next level.
It could. I mean, because the views are very, very consistent. I'm not seeing, is in the last number of videos, I'm not seeing the growth I would like to see. I want to see you get 2,000 views on one and your next one got 4,000 views. I want to see that number going up and up and up. And I think that's just a matter of testing more things, you know? Yeah,
all right. That is Bridget Fidgets. We'll move on to the next channel, and they call themselves Lock Props. Dan, do you want to lead on this one? That's got a few videos out in the last couple of months. What are they making?
So they are a channel that specializes in cosplay. Mm-hmm. And I saw that in their description on the forum, and I thought that was like really interesting. And when I saw they were kind of just getting started, and it looked like they have a really good foundation here, right? 155 subscribers. They've only been uploading for a few months. Yeah, I thought we could definitely maybe give them some tips there. So the thing I wanted to talk about was thumbnails. especially the ones with the very busy background. Yes, right there. In most cases, if you're going to do something like that, you would definitely want to do a solid background, because that checker pattern is blending into the sword handle, which is what like the whole draw of the thumbnail is supposed to be. And you got decent views on that for a new channel. Like, this is great. And what I think that means is you've tapped into a niche that is underserved. And I think you could be doing so much better if you get this thumbnail strategy under control. Like, you made Thor's hammer in this latest video, and I see what you did there. I think the thumbnail's vastly better than your old ones, but the effect on the hammer is just a little too much. The problem is it's a recognizable object that isn't recognizable right now. And so again, like, continue tweaking these thumbnails was my first bit of advice here.
I feel as if you're being a little bit mean there, Dan, but yeah, maybe there are too many lightning bolts. And as you say, huge upgrade on their previous thumbnail.
I'm just looking at the views compared to their last video, and I'm trying to guess, why didn't more people click? I've never been able to say the name of the hammer. I'm sorry, but I've made the Thor hammer, and I think maybe the reason is because it doesn't quite look like it. You know, it's just it's little things like that. Because if you're scrolling by, you might just see like a blip as you're scrolling on YouTube. Yeah. That's all I'm trying to avoid, is thumbnails should just look really clear. I'm only trying to help. I'm not trying to be mean.
This thumbnail actually does make me want to click. I think it's done a good enough job to make me click. So I'm really interested in what the first 10 seconds are on this video. Like, you're selling in a thumbnail that you've made Thor's hammer with possible lighting effects on it,
right,
from the thumbnail. So let's see what happens in the first 10 seconds.
Hey guys, how's it going? I'm Joey from Lock Props. Today we are going to be showing you how I made Mjolnir from Thor Love and Thunder. Now, if you wanted to actually follow along with me, the free blueprints are down below, as well as affiliate links to all the tools and materials that I use to make this build.
I would say that was almost a perfect intro, actually.
This is not their first channel. Like, there's no way. Like, they've been doing something before. The set is awesome. The quality. This is the kind of thing video reviews look like, by the way, for tomorrow. They like solid video here.
The final product shown at the very beginning, and you also gave us a call to action in the first 15 seconds as well. So in terms of an intro, very impressive. I could see, like, if you made this maybe a month ago when Love and Thunder, like a week before Love and Thunder came out, you would have had potentially so much more impressions, at least. Whether or not that converted into views, positive signals is another matter. But it's just a little too late, this one as well, I think.
So could you be doing the next Marvel movie that is definitely not out yet? We got their whole schedule just recently from Comic-Con. So you have ages worth of comic books you can fall back on. So you don't need to see a trailer or anything. You can already start kind of planning out these videos ahead of time. If you want to go the Marvel route, it looks like you're doing a lot of different things. I see Demon Slayer, cosplay, sword, things like that. So it looks like there's a number of cosplay interests here.
Just any thoughts from you, Jeff, before we move on?
No, I mean, I agree that I don't think this is our first channel. I think one of the things that would help, and I know these projects, like with cosplay and stuff, takes time. You know what I mean? It's not something that they can put together really quickly, anything like that. But consistency, once again, because there's big gaps in this content. This one's 6 days ago. Previous one's 2 months ago. So I'd be looking at ways of how either one, they can start getting content out a little bit faster, even if it's not doing full builds and full projects, even if they're just talking about the concepts or giving cosplayer tips or how to get the materials you need cheaply, whatever it might be. But start thinking about your viewer and how you can start giving them additional value beyond just the projects or like how I made this. Because you can still be providing a ton of value if you have enough experience to create something as awesome as that. Then you probably have a lot of other expert knowledge that you can share, and that way you can start getting content out a little bit quicker.
Shorts might be a way to implement this. Even experiment
as a start for sure
on TikTok as well. I see you've done one short there, but again, like, should you? I know we've just talked about titles and how they don't seem to be using shorts, but educational tip strategy type of content doesn't tend to do well on shorts. And maybe you should have solved the let's just assume that this video was about making this Demon Slayer sword. That should have been like the focus, perhaps, of a title. In fact, I want to click on it just to find out what it's about.
Pieces, I use super glue when piecing together. Normally, when gluing two pieces of foam together, it's best to use contact cement whenever you can for the best adhesion. However, sometimes it can take time, it's a bit messy, not to mention it's toxic. If the pieces are small enough, super glue works just as well, and I find to be easier to maintain a clean prop or costume. Cosplay tips, part 1. For small...
So I think the approach there was right in terms of the pacing. I think when it comes to shorts, like you said, educational stuff like that, like you'd have to be a very specific person to like want to sit through that short, but you're making really cool stuff. So I would save the education for the long form videos. I would save the visual stimulation for the
there
shorts.
We go.
That's
nice.
What you're like. People watching shorts, if you want to appeal to a mass audience, you just show them the cool thing, you know, and show, you could show you creating it, but don't talk about what all the things like use contact cement. No, just like show it coming together. Like just see what kind of visual piece of art you can do with your shorts. That's going to spread a lot further.
All right. That is Lock Props, and vidIQ is being brought to you today by myself, Dan, and Jeff. But did you know vidIQ is also brought to you through our extension? We have all sorts of tools going on here. I can see my channel statistics on my videos there. If I click on one of the videos here, I can look at all of the details on the right-hand side here in terms of SEO, the performance of a video, how it was optimized, whether they've used any video tags. This is all cool stuff that's baked into the YouTube experience when you download vidIQ for Chrome, Firefox, and now introducing Microsoft Edge.
Oh, I meant to do. Sorry.
Thank you, Dan, for the wrong sound there. Yes, vidIQ, if you are a Microsoft Edge user, you can now get all of our best tools through that extension. So if you just want to go to the Edge add-ons website, type in vidIQ, and you will find us there, and it's available to download. So yeah, whatever your browser preference, now we support Microsoft Edge as well, but not Netscape. We can guarantee it's not coming to Netscape yet.
We're pushing for it here on the stream team.
We're trying. It currently has a market penetration of like 0.0005%, I think, in 2022. But yeah, we'll see what we can do regards to Netscape. Next channel we're going to audit here is Tools Tested. And when we talk about whether a viewer knows if they're in the right place instantly from the channel banner and the channel title, I can work out what this channel's about very, very quickly. So kudos to this channel initially with its 3,000 subscribers. And Jeff, did you pick this one?
I did. Yeah.
You did.
There's, they're doing some fundamental things right, like the channel name, the fact that the banner, even though the banner doesn't have a value proposition per se, the fact that they're showing the tools on a channel called Tools Tested, that in and of itself sends a message. So branding wise, they've kind of got that down. One of the things that I really would want them to focus on is the text, font, and color of those thumbnails. Like, I think it's Witch Inflator, the newest video. So where they have, it's a black background, and then they're using the yellow text, but black in the middle. Nah, man. Yeah. Keep it simple. Don't try to get too fancy with the text. I would just use bold white. If you're going to be on a black background, get that contrast. Make it easy to see. Let's see here. Now, the title, I can't see the whole thing because it's cut off. So I'm wondering, how long is that title?
This one from the latest video. So it goes on for quite a bit.
Oh, Jesus. Did he put every single tool name in the title?
Fire, Ryby, Skill, Hart, DeWalt, Craftsman, Richard,
oh, good God.
E&D.
All right. So, all right. So
all of that, I think he's used 99 of his available 100 characters.
Oh my goodness. That's a tweet.
Listen. I get why they did that.
Yeah.
But it's not necessary. So whenever we're going to do something like this, right, where you feel you need to have at least the name in there for SEO purposes so that it can be searchable, here's what I strongly recommend, because I can guarantee you that one of those is going to be more popular than all the rest. So if you have to have a name, use the name of the most popular one. And something along the lines of, hey, so let's say it's the Makita. Hey, is the, can any of these stand up against the Makita blank, 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 whatever it might be. But aim to keep those titles under 50 characters if possible. Short, to the point, easy to understand. It doesn't need to be the longest title on the face of the earth. All you got to do is make sure of two things. Make sure you're putting those names of all of the different products in the video description. Make sure you're doing that. Make sure you drop them in the tags, and also make sure that you verbally say them in the video. So as long as you have that down, you don't got to have that super long title. It's completely unnecessary.
I think it creates more an element of curiosity as well. If you're creating a sense of competition, and saying like, is the M18 Makita still the king? Or there's a new king in town, and it's called the, sometimes you can even do that. You don't even have to include the brand name in the title, because YouTube is good enough these days to be able to identify it through the thumbnail and the description, and even what you say in the video content. But I think I go along with what Jeff's saying here, and maybe have what the most popular brand perhaps as an SEO play, but then create some curiosity around that in the title.
Yeah, exactly. So it's one of those things where you can do that, and then as soon as they click in, you can give them the intro saying what you're going to do. So like, let's say is this the best inflator on Amazon, right? And you have a bunch of them you're going to test. And then when you get into the video, you can be like, hey, we're here to test out blah, 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 to see which one is the very best one that money can buy right now on Amazon. So you can definitely make it happen. But it's just one of those things where I want them to tighten up those titles, because you don't have to do all of that, making the longest title on earth. It's not going to help you at all. If anything, it's going to create more confusion.
When they don't put this weird yellow black text thing on their thumbnails and they just put them holding a product, I'm seeing the views a lot better. Like if you scroll down, it was just them in their studio, which looks really cool, and they were just holding products. Scroll down a little more. It was like a few more rows there. So on the right side, and then there on the left, on the bottom left corner, 6.3K views, unboxing and testing the new icon. It's still, everything's in focus, so it's not like the easiest to see, but I think it's a lot more visually stimulating than trying to read this weird yellow text that's hollow. Like the hollow text is really hard to read on that background. Yeah, and that's kind of the thumbnail strategy they're using these days, and I don't think that's great.
Yeah, I mean, like we're in a similar niche, not niche per se, but a similar type of content where I'm doing products, they're doing products as well. Yeah. So that's one of the things where when you're talking about products, show the product. But if I'm going to do a top 5 or a top 10, you better believe that I'm not going to put all 10 of those in the thumbnail. Now, I've done 5 and I've kept it as simple as possible to make it very clear, but I try to make it as easy as possible with a minimal amount of text as I can, with the exception of the Versus videos. So I was A/B testing those thumbnails, and those actually worked out a little bit better. But as you can see, there's a couple experiments I did with single word thumbnails, and those worked excellent on my channel. So it's just something to think about.
Mm-hmm. So I think in summary, what we're saying is that I'm going to, if anyone gets this reference from Friends, tools tested, you just need to just simplify everything. Just slow down. Everything's a little quieter, a little calmer, just less chaos.
I thought you were going to scream pivot.
No, I don't want this chance to pivot. Certainly not. I
just meant thumbnail wise.
Just a little less, a little less of everything. Right. Let's move on to the next channel, and they are going by the name of Driving Distilled, and I believe this is one of our esteemed and privileged Max vidIQ Max members.
Correct.
We'll tell you a little bit more about that in a few moments. But first of all, Jeff, you thought this might be a channel about alcohol, with this distilled element, but it certainly isn't. And we wouldn't want to mix driving and alcohol together in a channel.
Correct.
But this looks to be a channel of driving enthusiasts, or maybe certain powerful European cars. That's how I'm going to introduce this channel.
Yeah. No, 100%. And when Rob says that I thought it was a drinking channel is because when I think of the word distilled, I think of distilled alcohol. I think of a still. I think of the way people manufacture, alcohol. So that's why that came to my mind. And the reason that came to my mind is before I ever saw their channel, they had posted in Discord and I saw the name. And so I was like, oh, is this like a whiskey channel or something along those lines? And then when I saw the thumbnails, I was like, oh no, it's an automotive channel. Okay, cool. It's driving is the keyword there, not the distilled. So that was kind of interesting. And I think one of the things that that they need to work on, and certainly feedback that they got from some of our OG Maxers and some of the other members of the Max community, was that some of these thumbnails are extremely dark. And that's one of the things where we really need to brighten that up, because I have no idea what I'm looking at. I mean, I see that there's text, so I'm assuming it's a Touareg, but I can barely see. It's a dark colored vehicle in a dark space. Like, we can't do that, man. So that's one of the things where you'd have to find a different way of getting that thumbnail together, whether it's taken in better lighting, whatever it might be. But the brightness factor, it's just not. I mean, it might look cool photo wise, but thumbnail wise, it just doesn't work. It creates confusion.
I'm curious to just like see what it looks like full screen. Like it makes complete sense when it's blown up, but even then, it's the lighting. This must be a very intentional choice, but from a viewer perspective, potential viewer, like you say, you're losing that instant recognition and that aha moment when the viewer's having to squint their eyes to try and figure out what that is.
Correct.
And especially that. And yeah.
And here's the thing that it took me a while to kind of get past, and I forgot who told me this, but somebody told me that just because it's a pretty picture doesn't mean it's a good thumbnail.
Yeah.
The prettiest thumbnails aren't necessarily the most effective thumbnails. Sometimes the simplicity will win. Like somebody could say, man, Jeff's thumbnails are ugly, but they're effective. The numbers say that they're effective. So that's the thing. I'm not worried about having them be pretty. I'm worried about making them clear to the viewer to convey the message of what my video is about. That's it. So you can have a very artsy photo, but unless you're a photography channel, then what are we doing? Right? If you're an automotive channel, let's focus on what it is and make a very clear value proposition of what the video is about by making sure that the thumbnail makes sense to the viewer.
And in most cases, the better thumbnail, the more viewed videos on this channel have brighter thumbnails. Although that is a little anecdotal. Dan, any thoughts that you picked up here?
I am very curious, because even the darker thumbnails, which we were saying, could look a lot better, probably could get more views. Given the subscriber number and the views they've managed to get on some of their videos, I'm thinking again, we're looking at a channel that maybe has tapped into an underserved kind of niche on YouTube. So that's very encouraging. Not really any specific advice there. Just to, if you were feeling discouraged for any reason, not to be discouraged. It's just going to be, I think, a matter of playing with different thumbnail styles and things of that sort.
Now, I want to play one of these videos, the intro, and I just want you to give your feedback on that. We'll choose the latest one. Let me just rewind to the beginning. I hope this isn't copyrighted music.
Yeah, it is not easy to bring the rear axle into play.
Get out of the way, man.
It was cool looking. I appreciate the work that went into making that, but it was for YouTube purposes. I think just really, like, every time I thought it was going to go back into the video now, like, it just wouldn't do it. It just kept kind of going and going.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm in agreement. I thought like the production quality and the style of it was fantastic, but you hit the nail right on the head there, Dan. I think most YouTube viewers, after 10 seconds, they're thinking, okay, let's move on. Let's move on to the next thing. This feels like it's almost a segment from Top Gear, and where it would be introduced in a very similar way. But the audience watching this is probably in a very different mindset, watching it on a mobile device, on a phone, not sat down in front of a television watching a 1 hour program. So again, as you say that, you said this, Jeff, like it might be a really good picture, but it's not necessarily a good thumbnail. And in that sense, it might be a really well shot video, but it's not quite the right speed and pace for the viewing audience. We could be wrong here. The audience retention could smash out of the water, but I was already getting a little anxious. Not for I just wanted the video to move on.
Right.
10 seconds before it did.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
So that is driving distilled. And as we mentioned, and as you can see, rotating in the top right-hand corner, that was a vidIQ Max member that we just audited. And the reason we're auditing them is on occasions, we'll offer some interesting and fun perks. And one of those perks is that they get access to an exclusive audit form. And, we look at how many people have already submitted, which is over 1,000 people have submitted on our forms. The vidIQ Max members get access to an exclusive form, and there's only 30 people on that list. And so they have a higher chance of being picked. When we decide to do this, they're not guaranteed this perk, but it's one of the many perks that we offer vidIQ Max members. And I believe we've been joined by the Max guru himself. Hey, Travis, how you doing?
Hey, hi,
about, we just audited driving distilled here from our vidIQ Max students. Do we call them? Do you call them students, or do you call them family members? What is the term?
We've been calling them Maxers. I don't know.
Maxers.
It's kind of funny.
Okay, one of our Maxers. And so what is vidIQ Max, and why is it taking the YouTube world by storm? And who did we speak to last Friday?
Yeah. So look, here's the thing. If you're serious about growing your YouTube channel, Max is an incredible way to do it. What it is we've taken over the last couple of years, we've listened to people in chat and everything wanting more. They wanted more. Like, it's great to know what keywords. This live stream is great for channel audits, but a lot of people didn't get their audits. And it's like, I need more. So we created Max, which is a environment, a community really, of like-minded creators that come together and not only help each other grow, but we also teach things. We've had absolutely incredible guests. Over the last couple of weeks, we had Emily D. Baker talking about live streaming. We've had Desiree Martinez talking about how to make money on YouTube that's not with AdSense. We've had Ian Corzine talking about copyright. This past Friday, we had Todd from YouTube literally talking about the YouTube algorithm, telling us things that you can't find anywhere else. And then this Thursday, we'll have Jake Feldman, one of the largest YouTube Shorts creators on the planet, helping us with YouTube Shorts. And then people are going into Discord and talking about their thumbnails and their titles and their videos and asking for help and getting help every single day. There's nowhere else on the internet where you're going to find a value like this that gives you all of this. There is no other value. You can go to, there's a bunch of people that are doing like group coaching and stuff. They're not doing it. You're not getting vidIQ Boost with it. You're not getting our Discord. You're not getting access to all of this stuff. You can't get it anywhere else. It's amazing.
So I'm just showing you just one of the Discord channels in that area, and it's people talking about their successes, and like we're getting a phenomenal response to people like just showing us certificates, and there's graphs that just go up like almost like a mountain in some of these in terms of like views and stuff. It's incredible to see.
Yeah, this morning someone told us that their click-through rate went up 3 times since they joined Max. Nice. Another creator said they've only been around for 3 days and they were getting some of their highest viewed videos ever. Like, it's awesome. It doesn't take much. You just have to do the work. Now, the one thing I do want to make sure it's incredibly clear. We're not doing the work for you. We're giving you the tools. We're giving you the knowledge. You have got to do the work. But when you do the work, people are crushing it right now. So it's been really amazing. Does it cost money? Yes, it costs money.
So
no, it's free. I listen, my bills, I don't have bills. Electricity is just on because I call them, I go, look, man, I do this YouTube thing. They're like, oh, don't worry about paying bills. Oh, you want food too? We'll send you food. Yeah, don't worry. You don't have to worry about paying bills. No problem.
You grew the Domino's YouTube channel by like 20%. Then free pizza for life, right?
Exactly. Like that's all I had to do. I didn't money. What's money? We don't do anything for money. Are you kidding? No, of course there is. But the reality is you are probably spending more money at Starbucks or McDonald's today than it costs you to get vidIQ Max. That, by the way, will eventually, if you get your channel monetized, pay for itself. A lot of you are out there spending money on things that will never pay you back. This is something you can invest in, and it will literally pay you back. Just saying.
The goal here is that you discover vidIQ when you type in, how do I get more subscribers? You watch one of our videos and we educate you that it's a lot more than getting subscribers. You've got to build a community. And you think, okay, that's cool advice. I'm going to subscribe to vidIQ. I'm going to watch some of their videos. Okay, it's good information here. I'm going to check out one of their live streams. All right, now they're doing, almost personalized one-on-one channel auditing. This is brilliant. And now my channel's starting to get a bit of traction. But we don't want to stop there. We don't want to just stop at where you get to possibly monetization. We want to get you to the point where you have tens of thousands of subscribers and you're turning your channel into a business. And that's where something like vidIQ Max can take you on to the next steps. Like Dan and myself kind of introduce you to a lot of YouTube concepts, but Jeff, Travis, and Alexi are taking it to the, almost like the scientific level, the bachelor's degree level of education. And so we want to cater to all creators. All of this is free, and we're spending 5 minutes talking about an opportunity, which yes, does cost money, but once you're in that program, you get an incredible amount more value. And so we're going to continue to encourage people who can afford it and want to be serious about YouTube to investigate vidIQ Max.
You saw the graphs in Discord. People,
the people are growing. And listen, it's not for everybody. I don't expect everyone to sign up. I don't want as a matter of fact, I'm going to say something controversial. I don't want a lot of people to sign up because a lot of people sign up thinking that it's just, we're going to hand them success. It's not going to be that way. It's too hard for most of you. But there's someone out there right now watching this going, what is it? Could I try that? And that's the person who will dig down, wants to know how to do this, will do it, and they will grow. There's multiple channels currently in Max right now that are growing faster than they ever have before Max. Period. End of story. Those are the people I want. Let's get it if you're interested.
And one final question. If we were to tease one thing that Todd revealed on Friday about the algorithm, what would it be?
Well, I mean, even more interesting than that is Todd came into our Discord. Is in our Discord now.
Yeah.
Literally, people this weekend were asking someone who works at YouTube for answers and was getting them. And y'all out here looking at each other, hoping to sub for sub. Sad. just sad. I know it's a little savage today, but I don't care.
It took a turn.
Max is such an incredible value. I don't care. Just saying. Anyway. So yeah, one thing we could talk a little bit about, I think in talking about how, what did you say? Something about live streams, Jeff. Didn't you talk about live streams and how they're,
how they're treated?
Yeah. We had a lot of people, and of course, shorts. We went into shorts, we went into live streams, we went into the one thing that so there was something that a lot of people in a lot of niches had come up to me and would message me and say, hey, over the last year, my videos die quicker. They actually they only last for a couple days, and they used to last for weeks. Todd kind of answered that in that stream. I had never heard of this, and I had heard of people having problems with oh, my videos die real quick. He didn't used to die this fast. He said something in the stream he's literally never said anywhere else that explains possibly why that's happening, and I've never heard that before. So there you go.
And he's not revealing what it is. Travis, you tease.
No, why would I do that? Why? Why would I take away the value from the people who are already in Max? I'm not going to do that. I love my Maxers. Come on now.
I won't tease what I was going to say. We'll leave that for another time. Travis, are you sticking around?
No, I got to run. I have more meetings. Apparently, I'm important now. I don't know. I don't know how I'm in meetings and I don't even know half these people. I'm like, I've never seen you before. How is this a thing?
Well, in that case, go to your important meetings and we'll see you soon. Take care.
All right, everybody. Peace and love, everybody.
just got your full screen there, Jeff. I completely forgot about that. Unfortunately, your camera is really doing you a disservice there. It was just focused on your microphone. It's like,
yeah, I forgot to move the mic first.
Oh, well. Right, where are we, folks? We're looking at this bad boy here. It is the Claw, and we're going to now randomly pick channels from all of those that submitted. We've got 550 non-gaming channels, 550 gaming channels. That might be a new record. That's 1,100 submissions. Incredible. And a couple of you are going to get very, very fortunate now and be picked out. So the Claw goes in, it gets a number. We have no idea what number that's going to be. Therefore means we have no idea what channel we're about to audit. And so we really are coming across these with first impressions. And the first channel we're going to audit calls themselves Sword Character. Now, they are very new to YouTube. They have just 7 subscribers, but they have 2 videos that have hundreds of views, which is very, very encouraging from that point of view. But I have no idea what these videos are about, just from the thumbnails and the titles. Not a clue.
Did you pick a gaming channel? Was that?
I don't think. No, this was a non-gaming channel. This is their focus is One Piece, but I don't know what that is.
I don't know what that is. Yeah, I don't want to say that the channel doesn't have focus because One Piece is in the title of the next video. But yeah, unfortunately, without a lot of content, it's kind of hard to see the direction you're going in. It's kind of hard to give a lot of advice. But yeah, maybe we can.
This video will rank devil fruit users based on how long they've been in possession of their fruits. There must be canonical evidence to support the character's experience for them to qualify. For example, characters like Crocodile and Kuma do not.
Okay, so I guess it's doing like a video essay on a popular anime comic book. Okay, that's as far as I would go in the description of it.
Yeah, One Piece is super popular, so it makes sense that it would pull in some views for sure.
Oh, so there we go. So Jeff, there you go. If this is the guy with the knowledge, Jeff, take it away.
See at the top where it says One Piece content? So that's what they're doing. So they're focusing on an anime or manga that's has traffic around it. There's people who are into it. There's hardcore fans. So it makes sense that they would pull in some views on something like this, especially if it's a listicle that's, kind of well done where they've got it all kind of spaced out correctly. Then yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
Okay, so if you do a YouTube search on something like One Piece and it brings back all of this anime content, obviously YouTube understands what this content is about. And look at how frequently the content is recycled here. 14 hours, 2 weeks, 4 months, 1 hour, 4 hours. All of this is coming at the top of the search rankings. I mean, for me, it would be, let's get some more content out. Like,
yeah,
let's get the content of the cadence up here. Commit to once every 2 weeks, then maybe once a week if you can continue to push that, because there's certainly an audience for this type of stuff.
You got double the views on your second video than you had in your first video. And it's been a month. I mean, this channel would probably be at several hundred subscribers if starting a month ago you had kept uploading. Now, maybe you're just finding it difficult. You don't exactly know where you're going to take the content. And what you need to do, if that's the case, is sit down and just start jotting down ideas. Do a brainstorming session with yourself. Or if you have any friends that are into this and can help you out and want to take the time to help you out, like get some brainstorming going. Start to plan out your next 10, 20, 30 videos. And that is when you have permission to record again, I think. I don't think us pressuring you record isn't super helpful if you don't know where you're going at. So you really got to sit down, I think, and make a plan here.
I noticed that the view counts versus engagement seem to be a little low as well. From 200 views, you may expect 1 or 2 comments and more than 5 likes. So I'm wondering if you found a good community to share this content as well. Not necessarily a bad thing, but it raises challenges engagement-wise on the YouTube platform.
Mm-hmm.
That could be a subreddit. It could be, a different space, but 100% possible. 100% possible. But yeah.
So there's green shoots here, but just not enough shoots for us to really get into the meat of a channel. But congratulations on the success you've had with the 2 videos that you've released so far.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's draw out another number from The Claw. Now we start to mix between gaming and non-gaming channels. So this will be a gaming channel review. And they call themselves Pros.
Yo,
hang on, just a second. Wait. I didn't get the I didn't put in there. Why is it doing that? What am I doing wrong here? They're putting their search results. Right, okay. So if you can in the future put in your channel URL to make sure that I'm auditing the right channel. 517 subscribers. We'll just have to assume that this is the right channel.
Let's hope.
Let's hope. So a Pros YT. I'm seeing basketball content here. Some shorts.
It's like 3 uploads today alone.
Yeah,
it looks like 3 videos a day right now.
Pretty strong. Yeah.
Kind of including shorts, and there's been some. It kind of fluctuates too.
Now, am I right in thinking that it's currently the off season for basketball, and they're playing on NBA 2K22, which presumably will be last season's game, and there will be a new one coming out very, very soon, if not already. That might be an avenue to start talking about right now.
Yeah, if the coverage is just of this game, that's cool. Like the franchise is going to keep your channel fed for a while because every year they come out with a new one. So I'd already be starting to make that content of like what top 5 things we need in NBA 2K23, things like that really speak to the fan base of this game. What they're doing is it looks like they're kind of best point center build in NBA. So they're really getting into like the very like nitty gritty kind of like guides. But I feel like guides like you're doing are a pretty bold investment if we are on the cusp of a new version of this game soon. Every new version, all of that could be moot. You got to start all over.
Redo it again. Yeah. As you say, it's not necessarily a bad thing because it will keep feeding the beast, so to speak.
But yeah, I kind of wonder if we go back into the history of the channel while this game was newer, if they've been doing this a while, if we noticed that the views were better. It looks like they were talking about NBA players more specifically before.
Yeah, so it was about the sport rather than a video game previously, I think. Now they've transitioned to a video game in the last. Okay, so there was a huge gap here. They took a break, and so they've been at it again. Wow, like the first video back was very successful. As long as that glitch is legitimate and you're not telling people how to circumnavigate the game, that would be all right. But just be wary of that type of content. Although I don't think you've done many of that since. It should be more about glitches and exploits a little bit.
I think what I would be doing in this position, because the views are kind of spiky, some stuff works, you try it again, it doesn't do as well. I would be looking and seeing what other content creators in your space have been like successful with, because I feel like you can go in a lot of different directions with this game in terms of the content you make, and I would be wanting to follow whatever trend is in that niche. We already saw YouTube autocorrecting, by the way, to NBA 2K 2023. Yeah, you want to be jumping on that search term now.
So I might not do it now because I've just done a search for NBA 2K. So the very top of the list is 23 already.
Yeah.
And wow, look at it again. 9 hours ago, 16 hours ago, 3 days ago.
Is this game out?
I didn't think it'd be out yet because the season doesn't start till November, right?
Yeah, but they usually do come out way before the next year.
Oh.
So we got release date news, some videos from a month ago. So it's coming soon. So I think a lot of people are talking about it, and this creator, I think, needs to pivot completely to get ready to start being the person for all things NBA 2K23.
You can start with crossover content, like the differences between 22, 23, and how it's going to be better or worse. just so that you're not alienating your existing audience immediately. I'm going to go play the new game. You're stuck on the older version of it.
That is a concern, and I do agree. However, just for the one game argument, I would say when it comes to sports games and you're just covering one, you do have to follow the franchise. Like,
indeed,
you can't be the person who didn't get NBA 23, like 2K23. That can't be a thing when it comes to this space in gaming.
It's going to be interesting to see what happens with FIFA because EA games have have decided not to renew the franchise. Oh. They're going in their own direction, I think, in a couple of years.
So that in that case, you would want to be playing whatever replaces it in the,
sure. Yeah.
In that space.
Next channel, 291. And all right, okay, this is going to be interesting. They call themselves Mr. Beast.
Okay.
The channel has 100 subscribers. Hang on a second.
Did they just?
Are we being trolled here? We did.
Okay, well.
Okay, all right. So, your channel banner's terrible. I don't understand what that means.
Another island, really?
Yeah.
You did how many island videos are you going to do?
You didn't really. That's a fake thumbnail.
That's not real. You get hurt making that.
You didn't build a chocolate factory. Who is this Mr. Beast? And why isn't there space there? Come on.
Community I believe his name is James.
Oh, come on. Use your community tab for crying out loud. Let's move on. For Pete's sake. All right. Channel 350. Somebody's going to clip that now and send it to Jimmy, aren't they?
If I had known that, I would have tried to make more jokes.
Okay, so a real channel that we're going to audit here.
Is
how do you pronounce the first name there? I don't want to get it wrong. Daisha's always watching.
I was going to take a stab at it and say Daisha, but if you're still in the chat, please feel free to correct us. Hopefully, we are not. Okay.
Send us a phonetic link on Google.
Okay. Daisha is how she wrote it in chat.
Thank you, Disha. Okay, so 4,500 subscribers almost. It looks like you are a reaction channel to different things happening on television, streaming services. Usually, these types of channels have a huge problem with spiky views. They'll find one television series that really resonates with their audience, and they get thousands of views, and then move on to another similar TV show, and they get a lot less. This channel is still being impacted to a certain extent. I'm seeing views of 400, 300, then 3,000, then 1,000, 4,000, 2,000, back down to 900, back down to 400, back up to 1,500. So this is an interesting question. Does the creator continue to cover all these different television series, or do they say, right, for this Sandman one, this video did really well. What I'm going to do is a follow-up video looking at all of the comments from my reaction. And then the next video I'm going to do is predictions for the next episode and then react to the next episode. So always following the Sandman television series, or do they stick with jumping from TV series to TV series? Jeff, Dan, discuss.
I've been watching some channels like this, but I want the reaction to individual episodes. So I'm specifically seeking out people who cover Westworld, for example. Those more epic shows that have a lot of meat on the bone. So there's just so many things to miss, and I love watching people kind of break down episodes of those meatier shows. And I feel like when you make a video and you kind of put the 1 by 1 there, meaning season 1, episode 1, I'm assuming, you're doing that, right? You're kind of breaking it down. I haven't watched The Sandman yet. I might. I've heard I might like it, but it seems like it could be one of those shows. And I know Stranger Things certainly is, and/or might be. So it seems like if that's the direction they're going to go, I would expect as the series progresses to see those kind of come together on your channel. So I want to see episode 2, 3, 4, so on and so forth of you covering those. And I mean, I've followed channels like that. I think if you can identify what that audience generally likes, you can continue to pivot to different shows. But I don't know. What do you think, Jeff?
No, I agree. It can be a little bit tough because one of the things with reaction channels is that you're basically tapping into multiple audiences or multiple fan bases, right? Unless you become a reaction channel that's very specific to a certain type of thing, which I've seen. I've seen some, reaction channels that only focus on horror movies or ghost videos, or some of them that only do sci-fi or only Star Wars, or one guy that's only doing the entirety of the Star Trek universe, movies and TV shows. So once you focus on that, you're tapping in, you're sort of niching and kind of not, because you have a ton of content, but you can focus on one fan base. So that kind of helps. What they're doing now is they're doing a series on multiple, like there's going to be fans of Sandman who might not necessarily be fans of Black Panther or Teen Wolf, or, there's just all these different ones that you're kind of aiming at. So that's mostly the reason for those spiky views. But I think if anything, if they can focus on one series, at least for a little while, I think that could help at least to sort of steady those views out a little bit.
It is curious why Stranger Things in there. That should have been done like a month ago for me. And just in terms of timing.
Yeah, timing's a little off. And that's one of the things where I'm not sure how long ago Sandman came out. I feel like it's pretty new, but the sooner that you can be on those, the better. I know a channel that was doing reactions to some network TV shows. I'm not going to say which one. But as soon as that episode would air, it was like 8 p.m., East Coast time. Yeah. They had the reaction video up by 10 p.m. that night. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So like if it's, week one, whatever it was, they were on it, and then they would put out their reaction. And then like a day or two later, they would do an analysis of the episode. And then the next week, because it was a weekly show, so it kind of spaced itself out naturally. But it's just one way you can kind of think about it in that sense.
Mm-hmm. There's an element to this type of content that I think a lot of people, and maybe this creator has identified it already and they're dealing with it, but a lot of people might take this for granted. It's a lot of fun to make this style of content, but what it does is it really sucks a little bit of the enjoyment out of your favorite thing. In this case, it could be TV. For me, it's video games. There's an element to it that becomes work. Like if you want to be on top of it. So for example, if you play MMOs on YouTube, you need to be like playing the new update the second it drops, and you need to have an opinion about it the second you can formulate one, and you need to be like the first one there, and this is the same for these TV shows. Like, so it kind of takes a little bit of enjoyment out, because if you're watching TV on your own schedule, right, and the episode comes out, so Stranger Things, maybe you're just getting to it as of 10 days ago, and everyone else has already moved on. That's going to equate to low views, and for you, what that means is maybe perhaps lower enjoyment, because you have other things going on in life. You don't have time to binge Stranger Things the second the episodes drop, but there are creators who are going to do that, so you have to find like a balance that kind of works for you.
That comes into like how serious you are about, I guess, becoming an expert on your target audience, in that when your audience expects the content to be on YouTube, you have to deliver it. Like, you are right, Dan. At that point, it does become a bit more of a job. But ultimately, if you want to turn your channel into a business and earn a sustainable income, so that you have the freedom to pursue this full time, that is some of the smaller trade-offs that you sometimes don't realize as a content creator. It's an interesting challenge.
Yeah, Dan brought up an excellent point, and I just wanted to touch on it, because one of the things that we'd like to teach people is about the 3 T's, right? Your topic, your title, and your thumbnail, and the importance of those. Here's the 4th T: timing.
Timing, yeah.
Timing is incredibly important. And this is one of the things where, like, I'll see somebody come in and they'll ask me, hey, how come this video didn't do well on, like, specifically reaction channel on a song that was released 5 years ago that wasn't even necessarily popular, and the video didn't perform well? And I'm like, because your timing's off. That's really what it comes down to. Even if it's an amazing song, it could be from an amazing artist, but if no one's looking for it, if it's not something that's trending, then don't expect, you have to go into it with the expectation that it's not going to do very well. So that's one of the things. So timing is incredibly important when you're making content. And, that's why when something's trending, or there's a new trailer or anything like that, that's why those typically do better, is because there's a lot of hype around that. So like a new show is about to drop, a lot of hype around it. Like, what's the new one that's coming out here this month? The new Game of Thrones show that's coming.
Oh yeah,
House of Dragon.
So
yeah.
She has done a reaction to the trailer.
well, so you see what I'm getting at, though, right? So that's coming. So timing is
Sunday
key
night.
on that. Yep.
That's, that Sunday, if it's Sunday, that Sunday you are watching the show. You're perhaps reacting to it as you're watching it for the first time.
Yep.
Like Jeff said, then the analysis. If that's the route you decide to go, maybe you just want to do analysis. In which case, you just got to get that out as fast as possible. I mean, you just don't want to sit on that analysis. Someone else is going to beat you to the punch, and you only need the episode analyzed from so many angles before you're ready to kind of wait for the next week's episode.
Yeah. So here's the thing. So for Disha, I'm not necessarily saying you have to go after House of Dragon. What I'm saying is timing. It's the point that I'm trying to make. So, and one of the things too, you can run polls, you can do all that stuff. That's cool. But when you're looking at the different shows, don't count on your community tab to make channel-based strategy decisions.
Yes.
Please don't do that.
Can we talk about that?
So don't do that. Like, it's cool to get an idea of what they want to see, but please don't look for your comment section to make strategy-based decisions around your channel, because the people that comment, the people that answer in your community tab are literally the vocal minority. Mm-hmm. So that's the thing you don't want to do. You need to vet these ideas on your own, using Google Trends, using vidIQ, so to figure out what's actually more popular. So is House of Dragon, does that have more search than, say, Andor or The Mandalorian or whatever it is? You need to figure out which one actually is ramping up and which one's better. Use those numbers. Don't focus on polls and stuff like that, because that is just not a way to make those strategy-based decisions for your channel. Just throwing that out there.
The biggest mistake I've seen is when someone's thinking of doing something a little bit different on their channel, they ask their audience who's not used to the different thing, should I do this different thing? And most of the time it polls pretty poorly. Or I've seen it the reverse, where it polls great because people are like, yeah, you do you. And those are the first people not to click on it. You can never...
Thank you.
You can never trust people in your comments or the community tab to make decisions for you. What you need to do is trust you. If you feel like House of Dragon, for example, is going to be a big hit and you are passionate about it, don't worry about your vocal minority. Don't worry about what your community tab says. The show's not even out yet. Worry about what you think of the show, because you're going to, at worst, get a new audience as you start to put out that content. Commit to the change you're thinking of making. If it's good for your mental health and you're excited about it, commit to the change.
It's funny, isn't it? I think the community never thinks about the consequences of their answers. So usually when you poll something like, should I do this? They'll just say yes, because it's like, yes, more content or more free stuff or more from this creator. And they don't realize that for you, that requires a big commitment in terms of time, effort, and resources. And if it doesn't work, for the creator, ignore comments. Yep, we have been for the last decade here at vidIQ. But yeah, interesting side note on the don't trust your community is basically what we're saying.
It depends. It's again what that old saying on YouTube. It depends on what you're asking them. It depends on what you're putting together. It depends on what you're doing. But when it comes to content making decisions, I've never seen it work out for the creator. I've just never seen it.
All right, that was another channel where we went into a bit of deep conversation there. The next one we're going to audit is a gaming channel. They call themselves a long channel name with numbers.
It's an interesting channel name.
Tom the Gamer 575.
Tom the E-Gamer.
Tom the E-Gamer. Sorry, I missed out a letter there. Tom the E-Gamer 574. Please do get in touch with us. We want to know where you've gone. Because,
right, that confused me.
Because Tom the E-Gamer 575 has replaced you on YouTube.
It's like that Mr. Beast channel we saw earlier.
Right then, so congratulations on hitting 100 subscribers. It's very clear what game you're playing. Friday the 13th. We've talked ad nauseum at this point in terms of how you want to repitch your live streams once they're complete to get some more viewability. Because right now, with that generic thumbnail and that very, very functional generic title, my guess is once the live stream's ended, you're flatlining any video on demand traffic.
Yeah, we need a goal in each of these streams. We don't really care necessarily that it's stream 41. What is going to happen? What are you going to try to make happen today in this game? I'm concerned, and I may be wrongly concerned here, but I'm concerned about Friday the 13th in terms of popularity. I've not seen anyone playing this game lately. Maybe it's brand new, or maybe it might be super old. So I'd be curious to see if you typed in Friday the 13th, the game, into the search bar, if we would get any insights there. $9 months, 4 months, 2 months, 4 years. So we're not seeing that recycled content we want to see. We're not seeing.
No, they said the streams do flatline afterwards.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Makes sense.
yeah, we think that's happening because there's not a lot of intrigue in your titles or your thumbnails. People might watch these after the fact, but you're not really giving them a reason to. So I'd be worried about that. It looks like people are playing this game, but if the audience size is too limited, you might think about a horror game that's a little more on trend. But that's for you to kind of research and figure out.
Yeah.
They have been playing this game for 3 months now, Dan. So there's what, 50, 60 videos here. And we're not in the same territory as a Let's Play channel that's getting 10 views or less. You know, they do have somewhat of an audience coming back for each of their videos, which is encouraging. But it feels like this is where they're going to continue to be without an evolution of their strategy, whatever that is.
Yeah, there's no thought about replay value at all. And that's where you're literally stunting your own growth, because you're not leveraging. If you're going to stream, but think about how can you get people to watch this who can't be there live? How can I do that, right? And that's really what it comes down to. Give them a reason. What are we, just like Dan said, what are we going to do in the stream today? What was the best moment? Create a custom thumbnail, create a custom title. Take it more seriously, really is what it comes down to. Treat it like a video. This is what I always tell people with live streams. Treat your live streams the way that you treat a video. Do your research. Go into it with a game plan. Create a title, create a thumbnail before you even stream. If I don't have those things ready, I'm not going to stream, and I'm not going to make a video. I'm not going to turn on my camera. So if we want to move forward, we got to get out of this habit of a thumbnail wall. And Friday the 13th gameplay live stream 37, there's nothing there for me to want to click it. Here's the thing. So when I'm interested in a video game and I want to watch gameplay, it's usually when the game is about to come out or about to release. Beyond that, I don't watch gameplay videos. I'll watch tutorial videos, how to earn, how to grind cash, how to do, tutorials, essentially. That's what I'll watch afterwards to make myself a better player. But gameplay, not so much, because I'd rather be playing the game myself.
Yeah, there's a lot of gaming channels, but you notice the ones that are really successful are the ones that go deep. Fortnite is a game that you can learn a lot about, and everything you learn can make you a better player. There's a reason to continue watching that content. Minecraft, you can do anything in there. Anything at all. Like, there's so many, everyone who plays Minecraft plays it a little bit different. So again, a lot of reason to come back. Games like this, horror games, people like the reaction. People like to watch, is the streamer going to get scared? Am I going to get scared? And if they get scared, will it be hilarious to me? When I see people playing horror games, which I'm just assuming this is, that's what I kind of imagine. So really understand the niche you're trying to go for, where you best fit in. And then you need to follow the trends of that niche. I'm not saying copy everybody. You want to bring your own spin to it, and you naturally will, just because you are a different person. But that's kind of what I think we're getting at here is when I hear Jeff say, I don't really watch gameplay unless the game's about to come out. I'm thinking yeah, for a lot of games, that's how I am too. But those games are ones I wouldn't want to watch someone play through because they're kind of linear. There's only so many ways someone could take this game.
Bingo.
So yeah, but the games that are more open world, or the games that anyone who plays this one might have a different reaction than the last person, that's just entertaining. So
like Grand Theft Auto roleplay.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I could watch that all day. So
yes, because everyone's doing something different, and it's in one of your favorite games, Grand Theft Auto. If you love Grand Theft Auto, and then you watch me role play, it's like two cool things put together. I don't know. I feel like we've rambled for a while, but maybe there's something in there.
Did you notice how difficult this channel was to find as well? Like when I just put in Tom the E-Gamer, no results come up at all. Is that a symptom of when you add numbers into an already long channel name? That's an interesting sidebar there. But in good news, pleased to announce everybody that you have officially broken this live stream, having more likes than current people. But if there's anybody who hasn't yet liked this live stream, I want to see how more likes we can get than people viewing. Now, what I'm not suggesting there is you all like this live stream and then leave so that we have one person watching with 999 likes. I'm just wondering how many people who are watching now haven't yet liked it. So let's see if we can get it up to 1,000.
I'd like to see that happen. I think that'd be pretty funny.
That'd be so cool.
No, I mean the one person watching with 1,000
I know it would
likes,
be for you, but then I'd tell everyone to do it tomorrow as well. Just to sabotage your life. Another thing, just a word of warning. I highly recommend that if you haven't already subscribed to vidIQ, you do so now, because in about 2 or 3 minutes, this live stream is going to change. And if you're not subscribed, you're going to be excluded. So there's your word of warning. Thank you for all of these sound effects. Next channel, we're going to audit here.
Thank you. I don't think
253. Do you just?
I don't think Rob likes when I do that at all. I think he says thank you to be nice, but he really wants to punch.
I don't mind it. I don't mind it. I wish we were all just more confident using sound effects. Yellow sparks joy. We have the bargain hunting bag lover, new videos every Saturday. The white text on this channel banner is not helping me read a value proposition instantly. And from another point of view, why does the channel banner not have any bags in it? For that immediacy, you know, what was the this channel? Yeah. This channel, in terms of its aha moment, immediacy of context, versus this channel. I don't know this is a bag review channel until I read that text, which I had to use the magnifying glass for. Anyway, I'm ranting about the channel banner. That is a smaller aspect of a channel. Let's look at the content. I was hoping Jeff or Dan would sort of jump in there as a lead-in.
I want to focus on thumbnails, I think. But I'm trying to think of like a search term you could plug in, because I want to see how others might be, doing this. Because I don't review bags, in case people are trying to figure out what else I'm doing on YouTube. It's not that. So I don't want to say, oh, well, easy.
I would say top 5 coach bags might be the search term.
All right. Yeah. Let's try that.
Interesting.
Similar style, really, here, isn't it? In terms of a bit of not chaos, but kind of a lot is being pushed onto the thumbnails.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a lot of elements going on, and I guess for some of us it might create confusion, but I guess it just depends on how people are watching this, whether it's on their phone or if they're watching on desktop. But usually kind of simplifying it kind of helps, at least in my opinion. I know, like, even if I'm going to do, there's a video they did called New Releases at Coach, What's Your Style? And the title continues on after that. Well, actually, maybe that was on the other page. Must have been just the most popular. Okay. Kind of threw me off there. But there was a lot of elements. So 5 days ago, there's a lot of elements on that page. Like, it looks like they kind of put in some pictures of products kind of on that thumbnail. No, it was the one second from the left. Yeah. So second from the left. So you can kind of see how they have the different elements in there for this particular thumbnail. It's a lot of stuff going on there, but if anything, I might have focused on maybe one, or probably the one that you think was the best looking, or the one that maybe was the most talked about. Like, let's say if they released it, I don't know if that's something where you can find out like which one was the most popular one based on what people are thinking. Like, oh my God, did you see that blue one? That was the top one, or whatever it might be. But that's really what I would try to focus on, try to simplify it to make it very clear what this is about. And then if you're going to have text in there, like where it says, what does that say? New in at Coach. If you're going to have text, it's got to be more visible. Like, that one's better than the previous one. The previous one has text on the bottom that I cannot read at all. So it's definitely an upgrade, but if you're going to use it, big and bold, or don't bother.
There's one that has almost 2,000 views from 4 weeks ago. It's Coach Cassie is back. And the big difference with this thumbnail is that there's one bag in it, and it's like the star.
Yeah.
And I think all the thumbnails should kind of have that. When possible, I think they should have that kind of element. And now the one at the top where you're kind of showing your collection's a different story. But when you're kind of pointing at a picture of a bag you don't currently have in your hands, cut it off the white background, get it nice and big, and then point at it, and like so it's just you and the bag. Maybe flavor text if you feel like you need it somewhere.
Yeah. I'm a sucker for when we talk about products, it being the product. That's just me though. It doesn't necessarily apply to every single niche, but if that's what we're talking about, and if that's what people are searching for, then that's what it should be.
Some better examples here when I search for that Coach Cassie bag, where people are focusing on just one product.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In terms of a channel focus, that seems pretty solid though, doesn't it? They are focusing on handbag reviews. Target audience is probably really defined, and good consistency, posting 2 or 3 times a week.
Yeah, and I would experiment with being in the thumbnails and not being in the thumbnails and seeing how that works, and being brutal about it. Like, don't take it personal, because I know that's, I took myself out of my thumbnails and I'm like, man, was it really me? It really was. So it really was. I was hurting my own click-through rate. So I was like, you know what? I took myself out. The videos perform better. That's really what I wanted. So I wasn't invested in being in every single one of my thumbnails. I was invested in my videos performing well. So.
And you get to be in the video.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It does look as if this creator is trying many different styles of thumbnail. I mean, when we get back down to these ones, oof, I'm glad they moved away from that type of thumbnail. But, I think this is a fairly good one. These ones where it's just the creator and one product being a focus. I like that style.
Good views too.
Text again is still, need to solve that. But it feels as if they're trying many different styles of thumbnails, but they're never settling on one, so they're probably not realizing which of thumbnails are more effective than others.
Yeah.
But nice. Yeah, good commitment there as well. Been creating for a long time. Looks as if you pivoted from doing budget shopping hauls. It's like a very different demographic. You go from the Dollarama to high-end handbag products. But that is a good niche to certainly find yourself in.
Cool.
So let's move on to the next channel. And let's see what we have here. This will be a gaming channel.
Did we hit 1,000 likes?
We did.
Oh, we did.
Yay. 1,012 likes. Thank you, everybody. And that might be a first. I've lost my train of thought, Dan. What was I doing? I was trying to bring up
the gaming
channel, and I think I got the URL. Nobbin. Okay. The 8-year-old Minecraft world.
So they've been playing the same Minecraft world for 8 years? Is that what I'm to understand?
Or is Minecraft 8 years old?
I play an 8-year-old Minecraft world and have decided to share it. Okay.
Oh, wow. Cool.
So that's an interesting channel pitch. I kind of feel like that would make for an interesting video. Like, and maybe they've done this, but when Minecraft has big updates and they change the layout of the map, and that's happened a number of times in the last 8 years, you can generate new chunks in your world by just kind of going out to the edge, right? And the newer bits of Minecraft will start to fall into place. It'd be really interesting to see how different the world looks as you go further and further out. And you probably have done this over the years of playing, right? The game will update, you update the game, and you venture out a little bit. And now you might have like a strip of like space in your Minecraft world that it just continues to change as Minecraft has updates. And so maybe you can like fly through it and show people like, this was update, 1.17, and this is update 1.18. Look how different they are. And that would just be an interesting video, I think, and could, because you're playing one world and you're so dedicated to it, that's like one idea that I think could help set you apart. And that's what the Minecraft space is all about when you're a new creator. Like, you're really trying to find ways to set yourself apart. Are you an incredible builder? Do you have some kind of new survival challenge you're trying? In this case, because you have this world that you've kept, a lot of people don't do that. A lot of people start new Minecraft worlds every day. Some people play one world one time ever and then throw it away. So that makes you pretty unique. And I wonder if there's ways you can kind of make content around that, other than just a let's play. Skip to 13 the episodes. You could edit that.
The intention left that in.
Ignore that. Yeah. Thanks. You just don't play that part of the video. So how I build my houses, episode 22, there's like stakes missing there.
High. But for a 2-story house, having the second level bigger than the bottom level makes it look funky. After finishing the framework,
So just for the un-Minecraft educated, Dan, is this a channel, a Minecraft world that they have had and built themselves over 8 years?
That's what I'm understanding from.
And now they, I guess, taking us through that world and how it's maybe changed over those 8 years.
It seems like they're continuing to play in that world. So you can do both. You know, you can take builds that you did 8 years ago and update them. You could just do different tours. You know, you could do all kinds of stuff with that. It looks like building is going to be this creator strong suit in the Minecraft space. And in that case, I want to see more thumbnails that showcase the epic builds like episode 20 there. But I don't want to see episode 20 in the thumbnail. Like, what is that thing is what I'm thinking. So what if it just said upside down volcano or something like that with an arrow pointing at it? Like, if you're going to do text, help me with the intrigue.
Dan, while I set on my screen, tell us what's happening tomorrow for the live stream.
So just a second ago, you opened that person's video and we talked about it for a sec. Tomorrow, we're doing a lot of that. We're going to go into people's videos, your videos potentially, and we're going to help give you some tips and tricks on how your editing could get a bit better. So for example, the one we just saw, what I would have told them is in their editing studio, they should have just cut out the first 13 seconds, because getting into a video and asking your audience to do work the second they get there is probably an instant click off the video. So those are the types of tips we're going to give tomorrow. We talked a lot today about titles and thumbnails. Now we're going to talk about keeping people watching your video for as long as possible. That's tomorrow at the same time this live stream started, 2 p.m. Eastern.
In that time, I've turned on subscriber mode only. So I believe that means you will only be able to comment on this live stream.
You used me as a distraction? You didn't even want to hear about my live stream?
Correct. No, I wasn't listening to a word you said there, because I'll be in it anyway, so I know what's happening.
I thought it was
shade.
Viper tomorrow.
Oh. Sure. Okay. I'm forgetting who's on.
I've uninvited you because you were mean to me.
Great. Glad. I'm uninviting Dan from this live stream. So, what we're going to do here is, and he can just bring himself back because he's a producer of a live stream. We need to think up of a phrase or some text that people can type in to be randomly selected by the StreamYard giveaway tool. So
hashtag uninvited.
Okay. So
I was going to say hashtag I can only type this in once.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
I can only type this in once.
Maybe this will help give them a clue.
Yeah. So, look, we've broken StreamYards. Hang on. Can I fix that? Oh, no, it's stuck. It's too long. Anyway, so hopefully you can type this in. And, of course, you only need to type it in once. And once you've done that and broken our chat for a few minutes, we're going to randomly pick some channels to be audited, because we appreciate that from the form, not everybody is actually watching a live stream. We've gone to people's channels from the forums, and they've been live streaming while being trying to audit their channels, which is really frustrating. We refuse to audit channels that are live streaming, even though this is a live streaming in itself. 156 of you have already submitted, so we can now draw. And hopefully, if your name isn't too generic, we will be able to find your channel on YouTube and give you an audit. So eBlack TV is the first channel we are going to take a look at, if I can find it, through our channel search. This is interesting. I would have thought this channel would have appeared as a search. There it is.
Oh, there it is.
Further down the list. All right, 1,500 subscribers, lifestyle, culture, and technology all in one place. What are our thoughts here? First impressions.
I'm not a fan of ands. So, especially if they're very disparate things, because it's sort of like it can lack focus, even though they might think they have a lot of focus. You have to think about who you're aiming at, right? Not every person is going to be into all of those things all the time. So I would really start trying to focus in on a particular type of viewer. And that's really where you're going to find your tribe and your people. That's really where it's going to come from. So that's one of the things we try to aim too broad, and we're not going to find all the people that we want to find. So that's one of the things that I would really start trying to focus on is what you're talking about, what you're presenting to the viewers, and how can you get them to come back and watch another video and another one. What is it that they're interested in? So that's why like a technology channel should be a tech channel. If it's a politics channel, should be a politics channel. If it's a reaction channel, should be a reaction channel. So focus is key, especially when you're trying to grow. Now, once you get an established, viewership, a heavy community that comes back for every single video, a lot of returning viewers, at that point you can start introducing some other stuff. But when you're trying to get it off the ground, I would really, really focus in on a very particular type of audience.
And just looking at the numbers here, 1,500 subscribers, but then view counts typically under 100 for almost everything on the channel. It seems as if you found the cause of a potential problem here is a very disparate audience who aren't sure what's coming next. And when I look at the thumbnails and the titles, I'm seeing stuff about reality TV. I'm seeing what looks to be some podcast style content, and then reaction content to maybe other television programs. So first impressions, I'm not sure what I'm getting into here from the viewer perspective.
Yeah, the thumbnails are getting a little bit better. Like some of these last ones, like the hater channels, reaction channels, some of that sort of stuff. The thumbnails getting a little bit better, but a lot of it's very, very busy. Like there's a lot of elements happening. So a little bit of simplification of the thumbnails will make it much more obvious what it's going to be about. So, if we're talking about, text, like what they did with reaction channels, like what they did with hater channels, where they're keeping it to 2 words, 3 words, simple, but there's a lot of elements in this thumb. Like this newest one, there's 2 people in squares at the top, and then there's at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
8 different faces.
It's too many people. It's too many people on there. So either you're going to show yourselves, which I probably wouldn't do. If you're going to show the time haters, but zoom in on them. Like you don't need all of these things. It's just there's too much. It's overly complicated.
If we look at this video, which has 2 faces on, 200 views. If we look at this one face on it, 250 views. Again, we're only looking at the very basics here, but with less faces on thumbnails, you tend to get more views just because it's probably more a thumbnail that's easier to decode than something with all of these different faces on. Dan, any observations here?
For podcast style channels, I've seen this work really well. It looks like what they do is they have a lot of different hosts that kind of do videos on the channel. And I'm only judging by the thumbnails to make that assumption. But I think what also needs to come into play here is targeting a specific audience, because you can certainly have different people come on and host different shows on your channel. That can work, but your channel needs to still always remember, like, I'm making this channel for a specific viewer every single time, a specific type of person. So I'm not getting that from the titles and thumbnails currently, and so that is one concern.
Okay, because so many of you have liked this live stream, we're going to go into a little bit of overtime, if that's okay with my co-host. If you do need to leave, that's acceptable as well. But while we're all here, we're going to take a look at Windswept Roberts, and they look as if they are a Scottish creator testing drones with 6,000 subscribers. Some good numbers there.
I like these thumbnails.
Well, this is interesting because I was looking at them and I'm thinking some of these thumbnails are like, these videos are doing well in spite of the thumbnails on some of these. But Dan, why do you like the thumbnails?
I like the concept of the thumbnails. Mm-hmm. I think execution wise, there's always room for improvement, but we see so many channels that like the concept is off. There's so many things to talk about. I think all that this channel needs with their thumbnails is just a little more refinement, just a little more. But I like what they're trying to communicate in a lot of their thumbnails. It feels like the car tracking, for example. It's like so close to being an amazing thumbnail. You know what I mean? And I noticed stuff like that. I'm like, oh, this person's got it. Like they just need a little more practice.
And I'm just wondering how that was built, because they probably took this image from the drone, but then they obviously had to think, well, hang on, in order to have this have more of a visual appeal, I've got to put the drone in the thumbnail itself. So they took they took a picture of a drone and cut it out and then just stuck it on screen and then added some extra effects. So the thought has gone into that thumbnail, which I do appreciate.
And then flying from inside your car, I see what they did, right? They have the text just to make it super clear, but they did take it from inside their car. Again, like really good concept, but what if you had someone take the picture for you or your drone from outside the car of you flying it inside the car? You know what I mean? Like there's different ways to like communicate these things, and you got to be thinking about the audience who's scrolling through YouTube. Way better than these older thumbnails with someone just kind of standing in a desert, you know, talking about drones or standing in front of a black background. Like the thumbnails they're using now, I think, are a big improvement when you scroll down.
What do you reckon, Jeff?
Yes.
Great.
I think Jeff checks out. Jeff clearly checks out at the top of the hour.
You may have gone into overtime, but Jeff is not.
Yeah, no, I like what I'm seeing so far. I think one of the things, like, especially with the flying from inside, I like that they put that text and made it very clear. I don't like the color choices at all. I would have just kept it simple. Keep white on, white with a black stroke on it, something like that. Make it very easy to understand. You can highlight one word in different color if you choose. But one of the things I also hope that they're doing, and this applies to literally everyone, is making sure that they're looking at, what thumbnails look like in the drone space. Because when I look at the drone YouTube space, whether it's FPV, whether it's whatever, they have some awesome thumbnails. And I would use them for inspiration of what yours can look like. So there's some seriously good stuff out there.
Cool.
Nice.
Good old Peter McKinnon.
Yeah.
I did notice that on occasion this creator seems to just jump completely out of the droning space. They're talking about some sort of fraud going on here, and then a review of a mic system here, and then also a music band playing here. And those are obviously going to hit your view counts a little when you do that.
Yeah, I would stay away from treating your channel like a catch-all for anything that you record. Don't do that. Set up a personal channel for what you want that to be, and then don't expect anything from it. Don't hurt the performance of your drone videos by throwing whatever on your channel.
All right, I'm going to squeeze in this channel here, which is WizGamer876. What happened to the 877 75 WizGamers before you? I don't know. Okay, we definitely know what this channel is about. The question is...
Get over here.
Finish him.
Toasty.
Flawless victory. Maybe we should just review this channel through Mortal Kombat quotes.
Oh my god!
Don't know any Mortal Kombat quotes.
Yeah, I think we've just used them all up there, haven't we?
I think it was it. I think we should look at the latest thing they're doing, right? This is Mortal Kombat series. They've played a bunch of different games. We've recommended you not do that unless they're similar games. Mario Kart, Mortal Kombat, not quite the same. Call of Duty, Mortal Kombat, not quite the same. You can watch a lot of different videos on the channel to get more insight on to why we think that is. But Mortal Kombat is something you continue to come back to. So the next thing is, once you decide I'm going to play Mortal Kombat, what are you going to do that is different than what anyone else has ever done with Mortal Kombat? Because the top viewed video, you did this once with success, where you took two characters and pit them against each other. After that, I would say your views just have not improved. So what about these two characters fighting each other is interesting? Can you change the game mode at all? Can you do anything at all? Change the rules, even just house rules that the game doesn't know about, that you just have to follow? Like, you have to play with an upside down controller. Like, is there anything you could do to make these more interesting for the viewer? Because just pitting two characters against each other just doesn't feel like a video to me. If I have the game, I can just do that myself. So I'm asking myself the question, why should I watch this Mortal Kombat creator? Like, what is different? What are they doing differently with the game that I didn't think to do, that I can't see anywhere else?
Really odd outlier here as well. They just randomly decided to play Mario Kart 64 and got 1,000 views on it, which is really, really odd. Probably skewing the audience a little bit more there. That is WizGamer with some very simple and obvious advice on Mortal Kombat. And that does bring to a conclusion yet another phenomenal 2 hours plus of channel auditing. We hope you found the conversations on live streaming, on what else have we talked about today? We talked about live streaming for quite a significant amount of time. We talked about intros for live streams for quite a while. What was another big topic we talked about?
I don't know. Do you feel like we were too nice today?
No, I feel as if we've been very generous, very polite, very constructive in our feedback.
It just felt like we needed a little more, you know.
All right, let's see what we got here going on. It's terrible. What a waste of technology. I don't know why people do this to themselves. Absolutely trash. I'm here. Testing out the new Savage Cam, as you can see, in all its glory and all the other cool stuff. I hope I got here on time. How's everyone doing? How many more audits we got to do?
Hey, Savage, it's been a while.
Hey.
I've got it all set up for you. If people,
nice. Let's just do a couple right quick. Let's because my contract says I got to do a couple per month, and I haven't been here for a couple weeks. So let's real quick get on this thing.
My contract says I was supposed to finish 5 minutes ago, and
you need
now
to
I'm
renegotiate.
really hungry.
I got Emily D. Baker on mine, so mine's better than yours. All right, let's real quick do a couple of savage odds, and then we'll get through here. We'll get out of here and eat some sandwiches. So who this is? Let's see. Junkie Dog Dudley's Brain Plays, the Onlys, Murdoch, Zombie. All right, Zombie. That's like the broken. What was that guy on Saturday Night Live? Gumby. He's like Gumby's little brother.
Get ready for your alternative audit.
That's Christian Bale. Why'd you make him great? I like Christian Bale. Christian Bale is awesome. He's really the only Batman there ever was. Let's be honest about it.
True. I agree with that, Sam.
Mm-hmm. Everyone else.
Michael Keaton he gets a.
I guess. All right, not a zombie. Why? What is this channel about? Is it about like the Hulk version of Christian Bale? Is that what this is? This is a Christian Bale Hulk channel, the alternate universe. This is terrible. Listen, this is why you don't work for Marvel, because if you did, you'd be as good as DC movies, which is terrible at this point. So anyway, we're not definitely going to go down this thing. We all know DC is terrible. It is trash.
Shots fired.
Batman was good though. Batman was good back in the day before they lost their way. Anywho, let's do one or two more of these because this obviously ain't worth our time. This person did the multiverse the wrong way.
What is an interesting content decision here, making it around a hulked version of Christian Bale.
They've been doing this for almost a year. Can you imagine?
That's true.
Someone put him on a watch list because I think that's dangerous right there. I don't know why someone would do that for almost a year. It's crazy. Let's see who else is in here. What's going on? We got Mike Better, the R&B specialist, and Hockey Talk. I wonder what this box is going to be, a basketball channel. Watch. I know it, or a Minecraft channel. Watch. It always is. They never about what they say they are.
I've got to find it first.
Yeah, the HT.
Yeah, there we go.
That's a little HT in there.
Got it.
Hockey Talk. Hockey Talk. Oh, he talking about hockey. I'll be darned. Look at that. It happens for the first time every time. 50% of the time, it works every time. Well, look, I don't know a lot about hockey. Y'all, do they call it something else in England? Do they call it like soccer or something like that, where everything's backwards? They call
flippy sticks.
They call football soccer, and soccer is hockey or something. What do they call it over there? Cricket.
Oh gosh, this is slippy. That's what it's called.
It's cricket. It's cricket on ice, is what it is.
It's ice cricket.
It's ice cricket. That's what it is. Ice cricket. All right, let me see what this ice cricket channel about. They got some YouTube shorts. Okay, that's good. And they got some other YouTube shorts and some more YouTube shorts. Well, that's great. That's about all the time I would ever want to watch an ice cricket channel. It's just about 15 seconds. And that's about all the retention you're going to get. Let's do one more before ice cricket. Is it ice cricket?
Ice cricket, is it a fake?
Of course there is. Look, there is. See?
It actually is.
I'm a
Oh,
genius.
there's an actual ice cricket sport. Oh, I'm done. I'm done with YouTube.
I'm a genius.
That's it.
I'm a genius. All right, one more. Let's do one more. Ice cricket was good. But we need one more to go out on.
Oh my, this is Slippy. It got me.
Slade Plays. All right, Slade Plays. Let me guess. It's either Roblox or Minecraft, as they all are.
Wait, is it one of these two? Nice. Roblox.
It's the
one.
one
This
that,
one.
there right there. Roblox. Okay, got some. Oh, it has nothing to do with Roblox. Ain't that something? What is going on? What? How old is this child? This is illegal. Wait, hold on for a second. What does that say? New Mimi. A new Mimi. He got some basketball players in there. He's got monsters. He's got. Oh my gosh. I fear for.
You just want me to move on before you get in trouble.
Yeah, let's do one other one because I feel like everyone's gonna get canceled if I keep going right now. Let's do one more. Just
okay.
I don't know. I don't know. Let's keep going. Crier, Oxalide, Crazy. Why do these people have weird names? The Biscuit Factory. I love it. We have arrived, ladies and gentlemen. The Biscuit Factory is here. That was actually a gentleman's club back where I used to live. I love the Biscuit Factory. It was amazing.
No.
All right, let's see. What do we got here?
No.
Biscuits. What shorts? Wait, what? We got a cat channel about biscuits?
You've been fooled.
We've been clickbaited. I wanted to learn how to make some biscuits with some butter on them. And here we are, ladies and gentlemen, looking at cats.
Cats love making biscuits.
Oh my gosh.
Is it really? That's kind of nasty. Look, let me tell you something about this. I hate when people do this because probably what we're finding out is this cat's name is Biscuit. Now, what type of sociopath calls their cat Biscuit anyway? Like that tells me too many things. I already know too much about you, and I know I don't want to see none of this. If you got some buttery biscuits you want me to see, then go ahead and give me that. If you got some funny money you want me to take to your gentleman's club, I'll hear about that too. Otherwise, we done for the day. I appreciate all the biscuit factories all around the world, except for the ones with cats.
As always, Savage, it's been a while. It has not been a pleasure once again.
How my camera look? My camera look good? It's a different camera.
Share your time. I don't know. Should we?
Oh, watch this. Here, let me put watch this.
All
watch
right.
this.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, nothing happened. Hold on. Put my hand up. Watch this. Oh, I got the Savage cam. It follows me all over the place.
Nice.
I can stand up a little bit. Oh, I can sit down. Oh.
What I want to know is, does Savage have a hidden YouTube secret tip for us before we end the stream?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I do have the what. So here's the thing. I snuck in and used a backdoor password for the vidIQ Max the other day, and I heard that guy from YouTube, Todd or Tim or whatever his name is, and he did say one thing. He goes, "There's a new thing coming out in the algorithm." You ever heard of algorithm before? It's what you do with a guitar most of the time. Anyway, he said this. He goes, "If you want to grow your channel, we put in a new thing, and this is all you have to do. You just have to click this